Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Coach D again. You'll have to excuse me. I am very mellow today, and I'm sure that's not a problem for anyone but me. But I'm a little mellow today, and that's perfectly fine. I wanted to talk to you, though, about something that's extremely serious and very important for your process. I get a lot of questions, and a lot of things that concern me are brought to my attention, and I want to address those things publicly so that we can all benefit from these awarenesses. I have people who, in their process, I get to see things like those things that stop them and those things that stifle them and those things that challenge them in practice, in ideals, and whatever it is. And I want to encourage each of you not to get stuck. When you find yourself stuck, I want you to stop. I want you to stop, and I want you to ask yourself, how bad do I want it? Okay, and so for those of you who are familiar with me and my process, I want you to take out your affirmation journals. I want you to take out your composition books. If you happen to be a man, you can have a composition book. But I want you to take these things out and write that question at the top of some page. How bad do I want it? How bad do I want it? And I want you to begin to write down how bad you want it. Just how bad, not any long-term goals, not any 5-year plan, 1 year, 3-year plan, anything like that. But how bad do you want it right now? Because how bad you want it is going to determine how you do what you do on a daily basis. You cannot be turned off by anything that anyone else does. You cannot be challenged by anything that anyone else does. You cannot be anything but inspired by anything that anyone else does. Because if you find that the processes and practices of others stifle you, then there's no way that those things that are supposed to encourage you can actually encourage you. Instead of being challenged by seeing the steps that others are taking, the things that seem easy, the benefits, the results, the outcomes that they are having, instead of being challenged by those things, I want you to learn to be encouraged by those things. And Lady Shantae just joined us. She speaks about this too, how if you cannot appreciate someone else's success, then you won't be able to benefit from what it's teaching you or what it's showing you or the value that it actually brings. When you're a small business owner, when you're newly doing whatever it is that you're doing, the best thing that will motivate you is actually seeing and participating in the successes of others. Okay, don't be challenged by what someone else is doing. Use it as an opportunity to learn, to love on, and to actually grow. Okay, so we have to make it a practice not just to see and praise each other inwardly, but do that outwardly as well, so that it can be communicated that I see you, I support you, I encourage you, I am walking this road with you. Okay, so I want you to again ask yourselves how bad you want it. Okay, ask yourself, how bad do I want it? Okay, and I'm going to ask you myself, how bad do you want it? And when you determine how bad you want it, then that will change your process, because it changes your awareness. It puts those things that you need to do right in front of your face. I bought something today that I'm calling a Jesus paper. And I'm calling it a Jesus paper is because it kind of looked like a scroll, like the 10 Commandments. It actually cost me 33 cents out of Office Depot. And I'm very proud of that. I bought it, and I'm going to put myself 10 commandments to live by in business. And I'm going to post it in my office opposite my desk so that I can see what my commandments are. Some things that are going to help me stay reminded of how bad I want it. So that on these times where I don't want to do a Periscope, I'm going to tell you the truth, I don't want to do a Periscope all the time. You know, sometimes I just want to sit in sweats all day and not talk to anybody at all. But how bad do I want it? And it motivates me to help other people. So in order to get motivated myself, sometimes I can do a Periscope. In order to get motivated myself, I can watch other people's Periscope. So things like that really help you walk out those small steps, you know, just small things that help you do bigger and bigger and bigger things. Sometimes we will look at the end goal and we'll miss the whole boat. We will miss the whole moment because we're looking at something that's happening 1 year, 3 year, 5 or 10 years from now, and we don't even know what we're going to do tomorrow in business. Okay, so I don't want you to get stuck. I do want you to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you desire whatever this it is? First, you need to define what it is, and then ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And that means that you will know when you need to make decisions, whether I go out tonight, whether I stay up late, whether I stop what I'm doing, leave a place to actually get involved in some practice for myself. Whatever it is, you will know when you need to do it and how you need to do it based off of your response to that question, how bad do you want it? It also will cause you to put things in perspective. You cannot judge or determine someone else's values or their inputs because you just don't know what they desire. You don't know how great their dream or their vision is. And so if you see a person accomplishing a lot in a short period of time, it just may be because they want it better than you. Okay, they may want it better than you, so they're putting forth the worthwhile effort. So I want you to do the same. Put forth worthwhile effort. Okay, if you have a big dream, you need to put in some big dream effort. If you have a small dream, we understand why you may not be making any progress. Okay. And that's not to say that we're judging the size of dreams, because everybody's value, everybody's position is different. But I want you to remind yourself on a daily basis how bad you want it, so that you can determine what practices, what procedures, what processes, what investments you need to make, what things you need to change, and keep those things at the forefront of your mind as much as you possibly can. Okay? Do not detour yourself from those things, not because of any outside forces, but if you yourself determine that something needs to change based off of your newfound awarenesses, then don't be afraid to change that process. How bad you want it could change. It could vary. Okay, but I need you to know what it is, and I need you to help ask yourself that question on a regular basis, so that why that drives you, why you're doing it, continually feeds and recycles into itself. Why? How bad? Why, how bad, and then when. And you can begin to ask yourself these questions on a regular basis, so that if you do get tired some days, sometimes, do you want it bad enough to stay up another hour or two? Do you want it bad enough to make a phone call or two? Okay. And a few examples. I had some people that were wanting to work with me. They wanted some new opportunities with me. They sent me a text message to see if I was ready. If you wanted it really bad, you would have called me and not sent me a text message. See what I mean? So it's little small things that we can do. How bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to make a phone call, or do you want it bad enough to only send a text message that you hope someone responds to? And especially if it's business related, you should probably be making phone calls versus being on the receiving end of phone calls. If whatever you can gain from any type of communication is worth it to you, you will pick up the phone and you will call. You won't do indirect things in order to get your answers. So I want you to learn to be very direct in your process, very driven in your process, and do it in a way not that just others can respect, but do your process in a way that you too can respect. Okay? So don't be challenged, don't be stuck, don't be stifled by other people. Be encouraged and inspired, and always, always, always ask yourself, how bad do you want it? And yes, as Lady Latoya Shante says, you will work hard for what you want. There will be no questions asked. Just remember that it is something that you want, and you have to want it for yourself, because at the end of it all, nobody will want it like you want it. Nobody will be able to drive you and encourage you like you drive and encourage yourself. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on this evening. I'm going to go ahead and get more and more comfortable with myself. Mess up my hair a little bit, and I'm going to start working. So that's Coach D Nicole signing off. I'm going to change this hair so quickly you all won't even be able to know it in a second. But that's me signing off for what I wanted to talk to you talk to you about today. If you have any other questions, concerns, whatever, anything that I can help you with, don't hesitate to let me know. I am always here, and I'm definitely always here for you. Okay, so I want you to have a wonderfully blessed night. Be great, be encouraged, and also be inspired. I love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.